Hi. Fight or flight is something I learned about when I was in school as a kid, and I was taught that in an emergency situation, there are two responses that are going to happen. You're going to either fight or you're going to run away. Later, um, when I was thinking about that, and I was also thinking about something similar, which is how to deal with situations, and that boils down to if you can control it, control it. If you can't, accept that you can't, or leave the situation entirely, get away from it permanently. So that correlates to flight and fright, and freeze. Flight, fight, and freeze. So if you can do something about it, you fight. You work to change the situation so it is better. Maybe just for you, maybe for everybody, without violence. And then there's flight, which is where you immediately remove yourself permanently from if you can, from the situation that is bothering you. And then the other situation is freeze. You can't do anything about it. You don't want to run away from it, so to speak. So you just accept. You just freeze in place. You just continue on with what you're doing. Now, depending on which one you choose, there may be consequences. So if you decide to try to control the situation or fight it, that could end up not going your way. It could end up getting you into trouble, or not, right? If you decide to choose flight or to remove yourself permanently from the situation that's causing you a lot of distress, that also can have some big consequences. You may have to move. You may have to find another job. You may have to end your relationship with your partner, and so on. And then if you choose to just freeze, that can also have consequences, because you recognize that you have no control over it, or you think you don't when you might actually. But that comes with the feeling of helplessness. And sometimes freezing requires you to not feel helpless, but to take control of the other things involved that you can. And that includes what's happening up here. Now, I have, in my life, fought depression on and off for most of my life. And it can be very debilitating. You can actually need help and be so demoralized that you can't even pick up the phone and ask for help. I mean, that literally happened with me. My uncle said, if you ever are depressed and you need help, just give me a call. I never once called him, ever. Even when I desperately needed to talk to him because I didn't have the energy. It's very enervating to be depressed. So the fourth option, there's a fourth option. So it's not just fight, flight, freeze, or work to change the situation, run away from the situation, or remove yourself from it, or just accept the situation. There's also a fourth one, which is commonly referred to as fawn. And this is not like fawn like Bambi. This is fawn where you work to make whoever it is that you feel is the source of the problem to like you and want to change things. So you might work to placate them, you might flatter them, you might offer them money. There are a lot of different ways you can fawn, but your goal is to make them feel differently so that they want to change their behavior. And that's actually another form of control, but it's a more indirect thing where you aren't taking action directly, you're taking action through the person or persons that are really either the source of the trouble or have power over changing it. For Christians, you may be familiar with the Serenity Prayer. And that basically relates to what I'm talking about. And I'm sure in other religions they have something very similar to that. But again, you can fight or work to control and change things for the better. You can accept things the way they are, with the caveat that you have to be careful to guard your mental health. You can divorce yourself, remove yourself, flee, flight, and you can fawn. You can work to convince the people that have power or that are bothering you to change it so that it's no longer a problem. So always remember that, and always remember that if you're in a situation that seems hopeless, it usually isn't hopeless. If you're in a situation where it seems like there are only two choices, that's almost never true. Even if somebody's got a gun to your head and says, if you don't give me your money, I'm going to shoot your brains out, there are always other choices. Now, it may not be obvious to you what those choices might be, and those choices may not work the way you would hope them to work. Like you could try to do a Jackie Chan and, and disarm them before they can pull the trigger. Or you could say, all right, my life sucks anyways. Go ahead, kill me. You'll have to take my money with blood on it. And they may pull the trigger, but they may be like, wow, this person's really bad off. Maybe I should not do this. And there are other options. Life is not a dichotomy, which is black and white, day and night, light and dark, that kind of thing. But life is a scale of color. Life is a scale of experiences. Life is a scale of everything. Nothing really is just on or off kind of thing. It's a whole range. And it's always changing. Life is always changing. Now, you may not feel like it. You may feel like you're stuck in a rut. But you're probably stuck in a rut because you've chosen to make your life very proceduralized, very scheduled, very routine. And you can always change that. I hope this helps you. Thanks for watching, and I hope you have a great day.